All right. Weekly updates. What is this? What is today? The 28th? Yes, the 28th. It was Christmas this week. It was Christmas. And uh, Christmas is an interesting time because there's so many things that are going on because there's the celebratory part of just like, oh hey, it's Christmas, right? It's the Christmas season. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la. But it doesn't feel that way. Christmas does not feel jolly, or at least this Christmas, it didn't feel jolly. It didn't feel noteworthy, like you would hear in the movies whenever there's some sort of conflict and the protagonist is trying to make a plea for why there should be a happy ending within the conflict that they're currently facing. So, like the conflict being between the protagonist and a policeman, and the policeman wants to arrest the protagonist's brother, and the protagonist is like, no, it was like this, and blah, blah, blah. And the cop's like, no, 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 he broke the law. And then the protagonist says something akin to, that we hear in other movies as well, something akin to, but it's Christmas. And I can't help but feel like that notion, but it's Christmas. It doesn't exist. Like, it doesn't exist right now. I don't know if it used to exist before. Um, I can say when I was younger, I felt like there's more of a mystique to Christmas. There's more of a there's more of a sense of goodwill in the air during Christmas as a kid. And I don't know if it's because I've gotten older that that mysticism seems to be gone, which would be ironic because I believe so deeply in God. So it's not that I'm unable or unwilling to put faith into this thing that may or may not be real, but something's different now that I am older, not strictly because I am older, but rather the times have certainly changed. And it just feels like it doesn't matter. Christmas doesn't matter in a way. It could also be I think, maybe the commercialization of Christmas, buy, 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 buy. You gotta buy a gift. You gotta buy a gift, buy a gift, buy gifts for everybody. And that's nice, you know, being able to provide gifts to your friends and family. It's a good thing, yeah. I never really care for big expensive gifts though, honestly. I've always been more partial to the sentimental gifts, a gift of time, a gift of acknowledgement or care. So I would much rather give someone a card with my thoughts on it that I sat down and spent 2 hours thinking over and writing than, I don't know, some new phone, some electronic device, some expensive thing, right? Like, oh, this costs $200, right? And there's some validity to that too. Not saying that that's not acceptable. For some people, $200 is a lot of money, right? For me, $200 is a lot of money. I'm not gonna spend $200 on just anybody. That's a lot of money. But if I care about them, all right, yeah, sure. I'll spend $200 on you. Yeah. So it could be that since I've gotten older, um, I'm more aware of things. I'm more aware of myself. I'm more aware of my tendencies. I'm more aware of the tendencies of those around me, like my family. Um, and because of that awareness, when things bug me or when things bug them, it's it's clear, but we don't talk about it. It's like I'm aware that there's a problem here and they're aware that there's a problem here, but neither of us really wants to address it. And is it because of that awareness now that I have, now that I am older, that the mysticism of Christmas isn't there? Is that it? Because I can say that something like that did happen this last Christmas. Um, but I kind of just let it go because it's just like it's not that important, you know. It's not worth getting in a fight over. It's kind of just it just doesn't matter. At least I think it doesn't matter. Maybe it actually does. Maybe I should talk about it. But then it's also not actually a major problem. So it's like, is it? In my estimation, it's not a major problem. And so I go through Christmas and then I go to work yesterday. I was off on Christmas and the day after. And when I went into work yesterday, there was an air of indifference at work. Um, Again, I don't know if it's the holiday. I don't know if it's because people are tired. I don't know if everyone's feeling the same way I feel, which is they go home, they go to their families, they go through this dance of like, all right, we're celebrating Christmas, but there really isn't like this Christmas spirit, and it's just kind of a formality. There's no real intentionality behind it, and there's this issue that occurs that we're all aware of, but no one really wants to say, so no one actually says anything because that'll cause a problem, and then we have to actually address the problem, but to address the problem would be more work than it would be to just ignore it. So we're just gonna let that go and just kind of deal with it and be like, all right, sure, whatever, it is what it is. And then go back to work, and then we're all back at work, and now everyone's just kind of just, fuck Christmas, right? And I talked to a few buddies at work. Um, One of them echoed the similar sentiment, which is that like, yeah, you get off of work, you don't go to work, you got a few days to yourself, you spend it with family, you deal with the same bullshit, and then you have to come back to work, and now you're back at work. One of my buddies, he said that, and then another one, he didn't say it quite like that. He didn't really say a whole lot, but I got a similar feeling. And then me myself, I have a similar feeling too. And so then I see and look at everyone else, and did they have similar feelings too? You know? And I don't know. I really don't. But it is a feeling that I feel. And it didn't help with just my overall self yesterday, honestly. I ran into a whole thing that is completely unrelated, but it's another one of those. It is what it is. Um, so I don't know why that is, because there really was just a complete air of indifference and lethargy, not sadness, not frustration, not negative energy, not anger or frustration or bitterness or resentment or animosity. No, nothing like that. It was nothing like that. But it also wasn't happy either. It wasn't joyful. It wasn't jubilant. It wasn't uh, exciting and everything. It just kind of was just like, eh, eh, you know, from everybody, and everywhere, just the entire room. And I don't know why that is. Maybe we need some more Christmas spirit in America. I don't know. It is interesting though. I did invite a lot of my coworkers to church on Christmas Eve. I like going to church at midnight on Christmas Eve. So midnight Christmas Day, I guess you could say. And nobody came of the people that I invited, which honestly that was it wasn't heartbreaking, right? But it did put into perspective for me how I really don't have any friends at work, honestly. I'm friendly with everybody, but I'm not friends with anybody, you know? And obviously making friends takes time. I understand that. Um, I don't get invited to a lot of things either. Like I know they go drinking at bars and everything, and I never get invited. I don't know why that is. I really don't. Um, my assumption is that they know I don't drink, so they don't invite me to bars because they're like, oh well, he doesn't drink, so like, why would he go to a bar? You know. The paradox being I go to bars all the time for comedy, so I'm probably in bars more than they are. Um, like I'm in bars 4 or 5 nights a week. I don't just go on the weekends. Actually, on the weekends is when I don't go because on the weekends is when I work. So that's funny, but I don't know. I really don't. I don't try to be recluse. I really don't. It's just kind of how I am, and it's one of the issues I think with just being a person in America right now post COVID. Because prior to COVID, I thought I had a lot of friends. Um, and then COVID occurs and everything shuts down. And none of my friends reached out to me. A few did. A few did. Two. And I still keep in contact with them. But everyone else is just, no. We were only friendly. We weren't friends. Right. But I mean, maybe that's what COVID was. COVID was the litmus test for everybody to find out who their real friends were. You know, maybe that's what that was. Maybe that's how I should look at it. Maybe I should just be happy with those two people that I still have in my life. You know. But now again, same situation. I'm at work or in this social setting where my previous social setting was church. This ministry group that I was a part of. And in this social setting, like work now, There's all these people that I interact with, that I'm friendly with, that I make extensions of myself out of goodwill, because that's what Christ teaches us. And I do it not strictly because I want something for myself, not because I want their friendship, not because uh, I think I deserve some sort of reciprocation for the good deed. No, I do it because to do something for the sake of doing it is being Christ in that moment. To do good for the sake of doing good and no other reason. That's why I do it. And it's so hard because so much of it goes either unreciprocated or what it feels like to me, unnoticed. Maybe they do notice it. I like to think that they do. But they're just not at that place of understanding with themselves and what it means to do something good purely for the sake of doing it. Because somebody has to do the good thing. And it stresses me out. But I do it because if I didn't, well, then I would do the bad thing. And I don't want to be a bad person. I really don't. But that's life. At least that's life as a Christian, from my perspective, is you give freely because that is what Christ commands. And you leave it to Christ and God to do what it is they want to do with the good act that you did. And it's in that way, through you and your good acts, that God reaches out to others. And unbeknownst to you, God is repaying you for everything it is that you do that is good and aligned with His will. That people see and that only He sees. And believing that, that's faith. And it's hard. It's so damn hard. So I don't get invited. Oh well. I invite people to church. No one comes. Oh well. I make extensions of myself and I listen to people and I provide them my insight on what it is that I think can help them because they're going through something that I've gone through and I've reflected on a lot of things in my life. Not that I've reflected on everything that could ever happen to a person. And I hear time and time again, like, wow, thank you. I really appreciate that. I hear that a lot. Or what you said was really moving. Or you speak from the heart. Or you speak from experience. Or you always have the right thing to say. Or it sounds like I'm hearing poetry when I hear you speak. I hear that all the time. I'm like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm just giving you my thoughts. And I get nothing. But I have faith. I do. That's why I'm here in Vanessa doing comedy, posting videos online, trying to get a job as a waiter. So, I don't know. There's something else I wanted to talk about, but we're already at 20 minutes, so I'm not going to talk about it. Thank you very much. Whoever watches this, thank you. I appreciate it. God bless. Have a good day. Like and subscribe.